Hello, Moon Valley. Last week I delivered some good news about aiming higher. I mentioned that fulfillment of pledges is going better than expected, which is very encouraging. This week I have more news to deliver, but this time it's a little more challenging for us to face and certainly more challenging for me to deliver. You see, while offerings for our building fund or aiming higher campaign have been very strong, general offerings, regular giving toward our operating budget has not been nearly as strong. And in this video, I want to do two things. One, I want to update you on our present situation, and secondly, I want to apprise you of what our elders have decided to do about it. First of all, let me give you a little sketch of our situation. Regular offerings are well off our budget. For the first 3 months of this year, regular offerings are down 13% relative to the budget. If this pattern continues, we'll experience a year-long shortage of some $113,000. Not good. We need to do something about that. It does raise the natural question, is this because of the Aiming Higher project? Well, after considerable investigation, we think the answer to that question is yes, but not for reasons that we expected. You see, in general, those who are giving to the Aiming Higher project are giving as much or more in regular offerings as they did last year. So there doesn't appear to be a redistribution of giving from the general offering to the Aiming Higher fund. And that is good news. People are giving over and above their regular giving to Aiming Higher, just as we asked them to. But when we look at those who aren't giving to the Aiming Higher fund, their giving to the general fund, their regular giving, has declined slightly from last year. We're not sure why, but just in case it's because they have taken a step back because of questions and concerns about aiming higher, we'll be putting up a frequently asked questions part on our website, and we want to encourage you to contact any of us on the elder board or on staff to share your questions and concerns. A third factor that completely surprised us is new givers. Every year we have a kind of churn where people move away or cease to become givers and are sort of replaced by newcomers, new givers. The encouraging news is we have more new givers this year than we did last. That is great. What surprised us is that fully a third of those new givers are giving only to the Aiming Higher project and not to the general offering. So it seems that we've provided an exciting, high-profile opportunity to give to Aiming Higher, and the newcomers have jumped on that and given to that, but not to the general fund. So the net of all that, it leaves us with this shortfall. What are we going to do about it? Well, we have already, just this week, reduced by 20% all non-contractual, non-staff budget line items. Just yesterday, we convened a special meeting, delivered new budgets to all the staff. These cuts, however, are not nearly enough to close the gap. So what we've decided to do is explain the situation to you via this video, and there'll be an email and a follow-up letter giving more details and inviting you to help us close this budget gap. Now, on June 12th, we have an elder meeting scheduled at which we will assess the congregational response to this information. Worst case scenario is there's no change in offering, no increase. We're still in the same situation. The only thing left to cut in that situation is staff. Now, in this worst case scenario, compensation for all of our staffers will be reduced by 20% effective July 1st. Now, we have communicated that with our staff just yesterday at a special meeting. I shared with them this possibility and asked them to brace and prepare for it. Worst case scenario, if nothing changes, we'll need to reduce compensation by 20%. Best case scenario, offerings would increase sufficient to avoid cuts in staff compensation, and of course, all scenarios in between are possible. So here's what I'm asking you to do on behalf of the elders of Moon Valley. Please join us in praying for God's provision and wisdom, and prayerfully consider how you may help. Don't know how this is going to turn out, but I know that we are still squarely in the palm of our Father's hand, and He's going to take care of us. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to you later.